from anywhere in the world. As long as you have a drink, it's Happy Half Hour. All right. How about that intro? You know, because the intro will be playing.
Yeah.
Right, that hot new song. Hot.
Yeah, hot new song. Welcome to Happy Half Hour, Volume 4, I think. I think we're at Volume 4. It's a shame I'm losing count already, but Volume 4 with me today, as always, my drinking buddy Kyle and Tyler back again. Just can't shed us anymore, so.
Howdy.
Oh, cheers.
Cheers.
My internet's unstable. That's a good start.
Yep. Don't worry, we cheersed over here, so you're good.
All right. Good. Kyle, how are you?
I'm doing swell. Happy to be here. Glad that this has developed into a nice little tradition for us.
Yeah. And Tyler, good to have you back. How are you?
Oh, wonderful. Really happy to be back. I agree with Kyle. You know, the Sunday comes along or Monday, and I'm not really sure, like, am I invited back or what's and then I just wait for, just full disclosure, I refuse to save your number because I like seeing the 812 pop up. And so, like, the area code pops up and I'm like, yes, I'm back. Let's go.
To be fair, I've been doing podcasts with him for over a year, and it's the same way. I never know if I'm coming back until he just texts me and it's like, hey, all right, you want to do something? Sure.
I thought you were going to say you haven't saved my number. Well, we got a great episode in store today, starting with, maybe Tyler and I's favorite topic, movies. Indiana's favorite, most popular Christmas movie is Prancer. Sound a little bit weird, but I want to know, what's your favorite Christmas movie?
First off, I want to know cite your sources on this.
Yeah.
Indiana's favorite movie, Prancer. I've never even heard of Prancer. There's no way. You got tricked by some Twitter map on the internet. There's no way that that's actually true.
And
Twitter
also,
map.
you're telling me somebody made a movie about Prancer? What did Prancer ever do to get his own movie?
I think it's an actual...
I mean, our research team's on it. Don't worry.
Sam Elliott, 1989, Prancer.
Yeah, looks like it.
Yeah, it's an actual movie with actual reindeers and a little kid. Sam Elliott, the guy from The Ranch, yeah.
Yeah, the guy with the deep voice, right?
And he was in The Man Who Killed Hitler and then Bigfoot, or Bigfoot and then Hitler. One of the two.
Sounds like a great movie.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Dang.
So Prancer, Indiana's favorite. It was a Twitter map, but I tend to believe everything I see on Twitter maps.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we love about you, Luke. You're so wholesome on the internet still. You believe everything you see.
Yeah. I think Donald Trump won the election. I'm reading right. So Christmas movies. Any favorites, least favorites? What you got?
I have lots of favorites, I think. It was hard for me to come up with just one. But I think if I had to, probably Home Alone. I mean, how do you go wrong with Home Alone? It's great. But I also love, like, Elf. Elf's a fucking classic. How do you not love Elf? The Grinch, both of them, like the original cartoon and the one with Jim Carrey. I think both are awesome. Frosty, I mean, that snowman's dumb as shit. I love that guy. Like, they bring him to life and he just yells happy birthday. I mean, that sounds like somebody I want to hang out with. And then, weirdly enough, I've always just, like, I think it's because we watch them every year, but like the stop-go, like, claymation ones, I don't know what you call them, but like the real old ones that, like, were Rudolph and
Like the Gumby type one? Like
yeah, sort of like that, yeah. But like, yeah, it was like a Jack Frost one. I always liked those. Least favorites, any Hallmark one. They all suck.
This is where
Did you see
I know you're
Tyler
right
and
down
I
the road.
both like
It's
back
the same movie. They're all the same movie.
and they're all good.
Yeah, they're all fantastic. I mean, why fix what's not broken, Kyle?
Oh my gosh, guys. No.
I will. You can sit me down in front of any Hallmark movie, and I'll watch it start to finish, and I'll enjoy every second of it. No matter if I know what's coming or not, I'll convince myself I don't, and I'll buy in, and then at the end, I'm still surprised.
All right, fine, whatever.
Join us next week on Volume 5 with Tyler and I as we review every Hallmark movie we've watched.
I agree with some of Kyle's comments there about the classics. Like, it's hard to go wrong with Elf and Grinch in those. And you mentioned Jack Frost, the kind of cartoon clay version. Jack Frost, the real life person one, where the hockey player, the dad turns into a snowman. You know that one?
Yeah.
I think that I put that, like, there's the classic Christmas movies, but like the one that isn't a classic that I would say is my favorite, it's got to be Jack Frost. Just a great film.
Yeah, Home Alone, definitely one I watched a ton growing up. I actually watched for the first time this past weekend, It's a Wonderful Life. I'd never seen it. Watched it.
Isn't that the one that's like from the 50s or something?
1946.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. 40s.
Yeah. You can't convince me that's any good.
Yeah.
It is.
No. That was the original Hallmark movie.
Maybe true, but it was good. So, shameless plug here. You knew it was coming, but I just wrote a blog on 2020 movies that I watched this year. Hallmark. Hallmark. Now you got me on Hallmark. It's a Wonderful Life on there as an oldie but a goodie in my categories. But yeah, check out the blog, opinionsanonymous.com, and check out those movies. But Andy said that it was his favorite Christmas movie, maybe favorite movie ever. So
remember him mentioning that, yeah.
Yeah, I do anything Andy says for some reason, but
right.
So watch that. Very good. He also recommended Happiest Season. Some movie that he recommended that I watched that might be my new favorite Christmas movie, like total rom-com with some drama, and I'm suckered into all of those.
A rom-drom?
Yeah, a rom-drom, I think, yeah. Prior to that, one that I love that most people either have never heard of or don't love is This Christmas, starring, I always get confused, is it Chris Columbus? I think, or no, it's Columbus Short. I always get him confused with Chris Columbus, the guy who sailed across the oceans. And Chris and Chris Brown actually stars in it as well.
I just watched it 2 nights ago, actually.
Did you like it?
I loved it. It was great.
Yeah, I think that's one that I really love.
And Chris Brown rocks. So.
Yeah. So that's always been one of my favorite. Home Alone, I remember as my brother's favorite. Anything that, not to get into my family, we'll get there shortly, but my brother and I growing up didn't get along great, and now
polar opposites.
Well, we still are. But we get along really well now, and it's fun when we hang out because he's like, hey, I just bought this true story. I just bought 2 peacocks. You want to come see them sometime? And I'm like, yeah. What do you say to that? So he loved Home Alone. Home Alone 2, still great. Anything after that, absolute garbage. But Home Alone, a staple growing up. And I love, I said it last week, I love everything about Christmas. It's my favorite. I can't wait to spread our bullshit oatmeal reindeer food in the driveway here in a couple days. So yeah, it's good. Love Christmas movies.
Tell everybody what you're really excited about, the gross ass candy that you love so much. your boy Brock and his Christmas nugget coming back into season.
Well, that's
everybody still has last year's bag they bought because nobody else eats it except for you.
Tonight is all about shameless plugs, and number 2 is, what's your favorite Christmas food? Just so I can mention it, okay?
Okay.
What do you eat around Christmas? Because I've already downed a bag of those this year, and I'm looking for somebody.
I can't wait till my mom finds her bag and dusts it off and gives you what's left in there this year too.
Kyle, what I love is when you come to my house in September and you bring me one. Like
that did happen this year.
Can I get some background on what these candies are?
You've seen them. Google Brock,
Okay.
B-R-A-C-H is how you spell Brock. Brock's Christmas Nougat. But there was an old podcast where Luke called it Christmas Nugget, and so we always call it that. But you've seen the little white taffy-ish things that are very minty.
Christmas tree on it.
No, I've never had one of these things.
Are you? Well, I said I was going vintage for Christmas gifts.
Oh, okay. Wait, hang on. Sorry, I was looking at the bag. These things are delicious.
Okay.
It only had like the outside. I've never seen the actual bag of them. I've only seen them in like the wrappers.
Tyler, don't worry. You're still going to get invited back. You can quit just agreeing with all of his terrible takes. It's okay.
Man, this guy's got my heart.
I'm not gonna be on the show anymore. This is just gonna be you two jerking each other off for half an hour.
So those are low-key my favorites. Oh,
Food?
okay.
Probably your favorite food, I think.
Yeah. Okay, but rewind.
Okay.
So I'm taking over tonight. You guys are in for a treat. My mom is a fantastic cook, always has been.
Mm-hmm.
She used to do 20 cookies, 20 candies every Christmas. So she would make 40 things, and she'd always bring trays upon trays upon trays. And so she brought me a small tray this year. I tell her to keep it down now. I work with 11 people, and she brings enough food to feed. Kyle knows, like 90, because she caters, Mauer Christmas.
It's awesome.
But I always loved the candy that you got that was the nougat, and it had like the little jellies in it. I don't even know what it's called. Here you would buy it at Rural King, but that's super specific. And then the Neapolitan candy that you would buy there too. And she tried to make, I think, Christmas nougats, and 2 of them didn't turn out, but she brought like the jelly one. So she makes this shit homemade. Like it looks like a slab of cream cheese. It's not, but it looks like that with like some colorful shit in it. I don't know. She's fantastic at cooking. So the thing I love most about Christmas is eating her candies and cookies that she makes homemade. She really does. She works around the clock, and now for the past 2 years she's been on a diet, and she won't eat any of this herself. So she makes it literally for everybody else. She won't eat any of it, but it's always fantastic. She does a really good job. So I enjoy that every year, eating her entire tray. No matter what you like or hate, you will find something on that tray that you will eat. And probably something that you would throw in the garbage, but she covers it all. She does.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. This kind of wraps into your story, and then also my favorite Christmas things to eat if we're going there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I have a big extended family, and at the extended family Christmases of the past, like certain people bring like different types of things. Sounds like similar to what your mom does, but like certain people have their thing, and the 2 most popular ones that have been consistent every year are peanut brittle. Are you guys familiar with peanut brittle?
Yeah.
And I take like 1 year, my aunt and uncle bring it every year, and 1 year like I acted like I really liked it because I was just trying to be nice, and now they bring me like a massive bag of it. And like I can get through a couple pieces of it, but it's not like a candy I want to eat like 50 pieces of.
Really,
so every year I have to,
stuck in your teeth.
It does. Like, so I just take the big bag home with me, and like they'll like sometimes it'll be like 4 different bags of it. I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with all this. The one I would to go ahead.
Our old COO. And a buddy and I at work were trying to figure out what the name of this like candy stuff was, because it's something very popular. And it's like, he thought it was truffle, which I always picture truffle as more of like a cookie. And this is like really hard, just like peanut brittle. And every year he would buy it for everyone in the company. And some people love it. They really do. But boxes upon boxes from a high-end place, and it was outrageously expensive. And he would deliver and just think that he gave you the gift of God. And we would I couldn't give it away. I couldn't give it away to people. And they're like, yeah, it's not. I would take it to every Christmas I went to, and I would still have like the entire box left over afterwards that I just throw away. But yeah, it falls right in line with peanut brittle. Like, yeah, one small piece, okay.
Yeah.
An entire box of it? No way.
Yeah, no, thank you. Yes. And the other one would be rock candy, and I love rock candy. So I'd be like, could I get a lot of the rock candy and like not as much of the peanut brittle? Like I dug my grave years ago. So
Yeah, it happens. I think some of my favorites are, like Luke mentioned, cookies. All the cookies. Give me all the Christmas cookies. I don't care. They're all great. And then we usually we have our big extended family Christmas or whatever. And then we'll usually do our immediate family too. We always try to make a nicer meal for that. And it's been my mom some years, been my sister-in-law some years, but somebody always makes twice baked potatoes for that. And that's a great fucking food. I don't know when the last time was you had twice baked potatoes, if ever, but so good. I can eat those.
See the chills on
right. Just I look forward to that so much. And then since we usually do that on a random day, I think this year we're doing it the 27th. It's just because my brother and sister each have their own families, so they're busy Christmas Day. They do their own thing. So then Christmas Day now is just me, mom, and dad. And we usually just go to church on Christmas Day because it's not near as packed as Christmas Eve, so it's a lot better. It gets done 45 minutes. It's awesome. So we'll do that. And then mom will always make breakfast casserole for just us three. And her breakfast casserole is one of my favorite foods in the world. I think Tyler experienced it when he visited a month ago. It's one of my favorite foods in the world. And she makes it every Christmas now because it's just us three. So
I felt horrible at breakfast time that day from the day before.
We drank all the beers. We tried to drink Decatur County Dry the night before, and
that casserole just brought me back, just brought me right back down to equilibrium, and everything was going to be okay.
It's one of my favorite foods in the world.
I have several comments coming out of this. Number one,
okay, go.
Tyler said that he has a big extended family. Does he have any idea what we deal with, Kyle? I mean,
I wanted him to have his moment. Okay, I figured to let him go.
You want to compare numbers?
Yeah, let's do.
Sure.
I honestly don't. This is probably bad. I don't know how many cousins I have on either side. I just know that I have my mom's one of 7, and my mom's one of 6. My dad's one of 7. So there's just a lot of people that show up that I don't.
Hey, buddy, add those together because me and Kyle's parents one of 13.
Yep.
Oh, I knew that.
Yeah. So that one's
we have there are people, not a joke. There are people every Christmas that I'm I have no idea who you are.
Yep.
Oh,
are you 100%. A boyfriend or a kid that I've not seen?
Right. Every year there's just some kid that I'm I don't know who you are.
I took my roommate to the first extended family gathering this past year, and she kept saying, "Well, who's that? And who's that?" And I'm shit, I don't know. And that's half of your number. So I can imagine.
The worst part is Tara knows more people than I do. She's like, "Oh well, Logan was over there playing with Haley," and I'm like, "There's a Haley in our family?
What?
What's going on?" It's bad. All right, so going back again, Kyle, you've mentioned this breakfast casserole several times
I have.
on the podcast. So
I have.
I don't even know if I've ever had it, so I'll be over Christmas morning this year.
Do it.
With a couple kids, I'm sure.
That's fine. You can just leave them. It'll be all right. They'll be wanting to play with their toys anyway. They won't notice you're gone.
Yeah. And the last point is, Tyler, I'm thinking forward after. Two more things. I'm thinking forward to when we have this child, and I'm gonna have to have a Christmas party for the guys that I'm getting gifts, and undoubtedly you're getting one, so I'm gonna have to invite you down here again. So you might have to come back to Decatur County for the second time.
Say no more. I'm there.
And the other one's just kind of funny because Tara was she worked tonight and she wasn't feeling very well before work, and she's like, I don't know who wants this baby to be here sooner or just to get it over with, but she's like, I don't know if I should text my supervisor right now. And I'm like, if Tyler is staying at work, I felt so bad already. I'm like, if he's staying at work until 8:30 to do this podcast, I'm going to feel so bad when I text him at 7 and be like, "Hey dude, I'm really, really sorry. We're not doing that." I was genuinely feeling bad. So.
As Kyle can attest, I would have been here anyway.
Yeah, he would have been there. So.
I'm a hermit when I get here and I start studying and stuff. So I just
doesn't leave.
Just don't leave. And I got to stop by Kyle's afterwards anyway to drop off a gift. So
yeah.
Oh, okay. Good. All right. Quick drink break because I got a kid yelling. So
Good luck.
Oh, he's back. He's back.
You guys talking shit while I was gone?
Just about how we don't want somebody hot to play our moms in movies.
Is that where we're going? All right. Well, segues in full force tonight. Next question is I don't even know if you were in a Hollywood movie or general, if you could pick two celebrities to play your parents, who are they?
I can go ahead and field this one. It was tough. It really was. Like me and Tyler were just discussing, is like I just don't know. I don't know any like motherly actresses. I just know all the hot ones. So it was hard to think of someone who I wanted to play my mother in a movie. But I thought Dad was kind of hard too, just because my dad's kind of like a grumpy old man, but he's also funny at times to be around. So I don't know. I just kept picturing someone like Jack Nicholson playing him, because like he is serious sometimes, but he's also he has some funny movies too. But just a grumpy old man most of the time, which is perfect. And I went up. I eventually picked for my mom. I actually had to Google this person's name. Did not know off the top of the face, but it's all I could picture her being. And her name was Patricia Helen Heaton.
Is it the lady? Go ahead.
She's the mom in the TV show The Middle, if you've ever seen it. And I just thought that portrayed my mother perfectly. Just kind of putting up with her weird family all the time, but loving them nonetheless. And that's a lot of what my mom does, especially with me as her son. So love you, Mom.
Kyle, funny story is your mom takes care of me on she somehow semi-adopted me on any family event that's going on.
Yeah.
Like she texts me my kids gift exchange people this year, and then I accidentally deleted the text, so I had to text her back to re-get it, and I was like, I'm really sorry. But your mom's of course great, and shout out to Aunt Jane for taking care of me this Christmas.
Is it my turn?
If you're ready. If not, Luke can go.
I'm ready. I had half my answer, and I just had to think about it for a second. I too struggled with coming up with names of non-hot actresses, but I've decided on my two, and it's going to be for my father. You know, Kyle went like comparative to his family. He wanted it to be like a similar thing. I'm going for kind of an alternate universe situation. I want Nick Cage as my father.
Of course.
And Betty White as my mother. That's the dream scenario for me.
That's beautiful. I love it. Are you aware of Tyler's Nick Cage fandom?
I am not.
Now would be a good time to just, ahead and get this all out there, Tyler.
Just get it all out there. Just, I don't know. I mean, you asked a fan to come on. You didn't know I have so much experience in different video forms. I did for a period of time, and I'm still the co-host of the Nick Cage Movie of the Month Club, where we watch a Nick Cage movie and then go Facebook Live afterwards and talk about it.
Nick Cage, I'm certainly not to your level, but Nick Cage was one of my oldie but goodies. Shameless plug number 2 on the blog for now I'm not going to be able to think of the movie. Lord of War.
Oh, that's a say what you want about a lot of Nick Cage movies. That's a really good movie.
It is really good. Yeah. I also this year watched the Humanity Bureau, which I can't say the same about.
It takes a true knower of art to know why that movie was good. Yeah.
Wrong crowd.
All right. I'm pretty bummed, honestly, because as we know on this podcast, we try not to ever do duplicates. And I mentioned how my mom cooks, so she's kind of like Betty Crocker, who's not
Betty
really
White.
an actress. So I picked Betty White. But I picked Betty White because my mom just talks a lot, and I feel like Betty White in all of her movies just talks a lot. So I'm pretty bummed we had the same there.
Sorry.
My dad, though, Tyler, you don't know a lot about my family. I mentioned that we love dead possums, but my dad, I'm picking shameless plug number 3. I'm picking Paul Hogan, Crocodile Dundee, one of my favorite movies ever.
Perfect.
Noted on the podcast. But my dad is kind of like Paul Hogan. He would do anything. Like he would go tackle crocodiles, do anything in the outdoors, and is pretty funny too. Growing up, my dad and my brother were always hunting all the time. I didn't really get into the hunting, but as I get older and I talk to my dad, I realize I may get my humor from him because he's really funny and love talking to him now. But Paul Hogan, Tyler, I heard you typing when I said Crocodile Dundee. You've never seen it?
No, I was going to Google what he looks like because I couldn't picture it. Was it loud typing?
My dad or Paul Hogan?
Your dad. But like you said it, and I was like, obviously I've seen the movie, and then I was like, I cannot picture him, so I had to go type and find it.
Yeah, it's almost what my dad would look like if he had that same hat, I think, though.
Okay. I mean, clearly I didn't get the memo that this was like a serious question. Like I took it as like this like fantasy.
Oh,
want to be, and you both got like real deep with it.
As with all questions on this show, it's open to interpretation. It's okay.
Apparently.
And then circling back around, all right, we have our parents now. Who would you have play yourself in a Hollywood film? Tonight we're not going to get into what the hell that film would be about.
No, absolutely not. But this one always sucks for me because like I want it to be somebody like cool and good looking, but it's Jonah Hill. It's fucking Jonah Hill every time. So unless you'd ask Tyler's parents, because they think I look like Jason Segel, which is the nicest thing anyone has ever said about me. So, but it's probably Jonah Hill. It's probably Jonah Hill.
As a sidebar, my dad always has referred to Kyle as Jason Segel when he asked about things, but my mom knows who he is, but never like directly refers to him at that. And I saw him for Christmas, and I sat down. She's like, "How's Jason Segel like the new job?" And I was like,
his parents just call me Jason Segel, and it's literally the nicest thing anyone's ever said or thought about me, that I remotely look like him, because I don't. So I wish it was him playing me, but it's probably Jonah. It's Jonah Hill.
I'm gonna go with semi-related. I'm gonna go with Michael Cera.
It just makes sense. It just makes sense. So that way, at the point in the movie where we meet each other, if it's about our lives, it's just those two.
Perfect.
Am I Fogel?
McLovin. You're McLovin.
For me, the one that it's not an actor, but I was at Florida one year, and someone legitimately asked me if I was Michael Phelps, or like how many times I'd been told that I look like Michael Phelps, and which is hilarious. If you remember last episode, I can't swim. Michael Phelps and I, not a lot in common. For me, I'm going to pick Vince Vaughn in his prime because we're both tall. We both kind of have the dry humor. And I hope that I have 1,000 kids out there.
Hey, you're one step closer here any day now. So
if I was you, I would have walked. Did you say, were you in Florida, you said?
Yeah.
You should have just walked out to the beach and started doing like this thing, that he does, that Phelps does, just like start swinging your arms. Never actually get in, but like clap the shoulders.
Just warm up. Yeah. Wear a Speedo. That'd be cool. I don't know.
No, I was.
Okay. That's why.
All right. Last thing tonight. It's, fantasy football playoff season. There's probably some important games going on. Is anybody in the fantasy championships? Anybody care about anything going on? Right? Okay. Yep.
Down here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a lot on the line tonight. I'm dependent on your Bengals for my life.
That's literally it, right? Because
that is it. And let me tell you, obviously I forgot how fantasy football works. I was 70% projected to win, up 12 points going into today with just playing against the Steelers defense is playing against me. So I was up 12 points. Or immediately when the game starts, it gives them 10 points, as like the starting point, and it went to 80% them winning 20% mean I just like all my life just went out of me. Like I thought I had a fighting chance. I thought that was already calculated.
So what were you up pre-start of the game? You're up like 12?
12 points.
So yeah, he needs the Steelers defense to get less than 12 against this Ryan Finley-led Bengals offense.
All I need is a score. Give me a score or something. So
come on, one touchdown.
That's all I'm asking for, and just take care of the football.
No turnovers.
As I'm wearing my Big Dick Joe hat and my bingo, I will refund whatever this costs you, because 12 points would be a fucking miracle.
$550 on the line here.
Oh, yeah, fuck it.
Kyle's holding the cash. I'm convinced he already betted on something.
It's the league from our employer when we worked together, and I was the manager of the league before I left, but I still have everybody's money. So
the funny thing is, with my roommate and we're on a team last year together, and I primarily drafted, and we got last place. So this year, and I usually get lower tier in my other leagues too. So I was like, just pick whoever. I'm just going to sit here and drink beer and eat pizza. Mm-hmm. And she went on a house tour for like 20 minutes, and I picked a couple people in there that like mid-late rounds. She basically picked everybody, and we smoked everybody all year and are in the championship.
I've lost one game all year, maybe?
Lost 2 due to some like injuries or something. I don't know.
But yeah, you guys have been wire to wire number 1 team in the league.
And so obviously I suck. I do like a pick randomizer next time.
Yeah, so I'm in the same league, obviously, as Tyler. My team did not do well, so go Tyler. Go Bengals. You're up, Luke.
I am so bad at fantasy, but I'll tell you why. I wrote a blog about it several years ago, but I will not draft a Brown, a Raven, or a Steeler, or a Colt, and I will not play players who play against the Bengals. So if like Patrick Mahomes
are primarily the players doing the best, right, which makes it really hard.
So the fact that I have in my life won 2 fantasy championships is
that's astounding.
A miracle right there.
That's astounding.
Because I have rules. I donate money every year, and I just refuse to do it. So
man of principle, I understand.
Yeah.
My biggest issue has typically been the prime of my NFL knowledge is playing Madden 2005.
Yep.
And so especially up like the last couple of years, it's just not been possible to draft a team with those players. But up until like a couple of years ago, like I was still trying to draft the guys from those rosters. And like that's who's good in my mind. Like Larry Fitzgerald might be the only person like still in the league, but like I'd say like he's a top tier receiver. We got to get him. Like
my brain's definitely the same for like defenses, which is real bad.
Yeah,
because I'm like trying to draft defenses who were good a decade ago, and
they're like in the Ravens
anymore. Obviously. Or like in my brain, I'm like the Jaguars. Remember they went to the AFC Championship game because they had that good defense. Blake Bortles was their quarterback, but they had a good defense. Turns out none of those players are on their team anymore. So don't go after the Jaguars defense.
I have done one NBA fantasy league in my life, and I did that. I drafted this was before the resurgence, but Carmelo Anthony, like Chris Paul this year. Like I drafted all these people that were good, 8 years ago, and I was stoked. I was like, my team's gonna rock.
I can't believe these guys let these guys slip through. Come on.
Before we get out of here, we have occasionally emails on the main show, and it's really weird. We got one today, but it's specifically for Tyler.
Look at you.
Jill writes in and says, when are you going to stop calling me your fucking roommate? Girlfriend. I don't know. It's weird.
That sounds written just like her, so that's how I know it's her.
Kyle attests, I texted him today, and I was like, is Jill Tyler's roommate, and are they dating? Like, can I ask him these type of questions? Because, I mean,
He did. He got my clearance first before making jokes.
That's fair. Number one, I'm insulted. You could pretty much say anything to me, and I'd be okay with it, no matter how insulting. So ask away in the future. You have just a blanket approval going forward if I'm ever invited back. Yes,
I just don't want you to text me.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I don't want you to text me and ask me who my girlfriend is because I have a wife, and then it gets complicated.
I'm still trying to figure out who the secretary is making the scheduling on your side. Yes, the roommate Jill is my girlfriend. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
It would have been
listeners.
okay, but you've literally said your roommate like 3 times.
Yes, especially when referring to his fantasy football team. Yes, his roommate drafted everybody. Yeah.
I mean, that's a mistake on my part because it makes it funnier that to circle back to the fantasy team, my girlfriend drafted a team who watches like 6 football games.
That's the joke we're getting. I remember at one point because like we all drafted it together at one of our boss's houses. We had everybody over at pizza and beer. I think at one point Jill was picking people based off how she liked their hair.
Yeah, she was like, it was like I was like sort it by like projected finishing, and then like pick one of the guys in the top 3, and she goes down like 4, and she was like, well, that guy has pretty cool hair. And, like, so screwed, and it worked out.
It worked. It worked.
So you have Patrick Mahomes at quarterback.
No, I do not.
Oh, okay.
Aaron Rodgers, because his brother was on The Bachelor.
Well, it's working.
It worked.
All right. Well, this has been it for another fun episode of Happy Half Hour. It's December 21st today. I didn't mention that at the beginning. So Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to everybody. I really, we love you guys. We do this for you. We do this for ourselves. We need to drink for several hours a week and pretend that this counts. But thank you everyone for listening. Thank you for the fans we had a fan reach out that said that Tyler's tire story was absolutely hilarious. And I agree. And if you have anything you want us to talk about, let us know. If you're enjoying something, let us know. Otherwise, stay tuned. We're going to take a short break for Christmas / baby. Probably, but yeah, maybe not. Maybe we'll record one in the operating room where I will be drinking. Because
that'd be wild.
I think I'm gonna. I thought about tweeting that I'm gonna live tweet the labor as a joke. I don't know. Live text you. How about I live group text you guys how I'm feeling?
That'd be great. I think.
So thanks for listening. Like, rate, subscribe, comment, do what you do. But thanks for listening, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.